Hi guys! In today's video I'm going to show you just how easy and quick it is to grow your own mustard greens. Now whether you want to harvest the plants when they're nice and young and use them as microgreens, or whether you want to let them mature a bit and use them to make some yummy North Indian style saag, okay, or you could even just let them grow further, develop seed pods, and that way you'll have your own homegrown mustard seeds to use in your kitchen. Okay, whatever be your intention, okay, it is very easy to grow these plants, and I'm about to show you step by step how you can do it. I'm also including, a multi-day update as part of this video, which will show you how our plants have performed. I'm Komal and welcome to my channel Urban Hobby Gardener. If you are new here, I make free educational videos to empower you on your gardening journey. If that's of interest, I invite you to subscribe to my channel and press that bell icon so you don't miss my updates. I also post a lot of tips on my Facebook page, so if you're on Facebook, please do check out Urban Hobby Gardener for even more tips. Alright guys, let's get started. You'll probably hear me say that mustard greens are very easy to grow, very quick to grow, maybe a few times in this video, because it really is very easy peasy to grow. Okay, you can grow them indoors, you can grow them outdoors. I'll be growing them outdoors, so I'll show you how to grow them outdoors. Okay, it is a cool weather plant, so you ideally want to start them, say, mid to late autumn. Okay, I'm starting mine in about the second week of winter. This is my second batch. Okay, I started my first batch kind of last week of autumn. Okay, but because it is a cool weather plant, because it grows so quickly, okay, you can actually get away by growing your mustard greens throughout winter as well. Okay, now for the purposes of this video, okay, I'm growing my batch 2 just like I did with batch 1. I'm using store-bought mustard seeds. Okay, here's a little close-up on the mustard seeds that I am using. They're the black mustard seeds. Obviously you can get quite a few different varieties. You can get the yellow ones as well, but I'm using these black ones. Alright, so let's get to work. For this mustard green growing project, I'm just taking a relatively smallish pot, okay, because I'm not actually growing a lot of seeds. As you can see, I'm just taking just literally a handful of seeds. The soil I'm using is basically a potting mix soil that I have already pre-moistened. Okay, you'll hear me say this in a lot of my videos, especially if you've been following me for some time. I always say moisten your soil, okay? Don't plant your seeds in dry soil, alright? Now I use rainwater to moisten my soil, okay, and the seeds, these are straight out of the container, okay, store-bought seeds straight out of the container. I haven't soaked them like I usually do, and the reason I haven't soaked them is, look at these seeds. They are so small, they don't have like a hard outer coating at all. Okay, so there's nothing really that you're gonna get by soaking them for 24 hours or so. Alright, so I'm just going to sprinkle them around. Now ideally you do want to space them out a few centimeters apart, but now because they are so small, let me zoom in for you, because they are so tiny and small, okay, there is a chance that they do end up quite close to one another, okay, which is fine. I'll just kind of space them out by hand, and if not, I can just transplant them a bit later. Okay, so I'm still left with a few seeds because my pot is quite full now. So I'm going to cover this with a thin layer of soil, okay, because they're such small seeds, you don't want to bury them too deeply into the soil. Alright, so let's let's thinly spread some more soil on top of the seeds now. Alright, so I've put a thin layer of potting mix on top of the seeds, and I'm just going to water it in very lightly so that my seeds underneath don't move. And that's it, and I'm going to set this aside on my patio, and I'll come back to you with an update of what the seedlings look like. So see you soon. It's been 7 days now since we sowed these seeds, and as you can see, new life has started to poke its way through the soil. And if If I zoom in closer, that is what the new leaves on the mustard greens look like. Keep watching, I'm also going to show you how these seedlings grow up. Okay, so this is what our mustard green seedlings look like at day 10. If I take you in from another side, you will see that these seedlings are all bending towards the one side, and this is because it's been consistently cloudy over the past few days. So these seedlings are trying to stretch and try and get as much sun as they possibly can. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn my pot around. So this effectively means that the seedlings now need to face that way to get the sun. So that will hopefully correct the bend to some extent. Now, it won't fully correct the bend as such, but as soon as you see it, if you try and remediate the situation, it'll basically it'll kind of stop the seedlings kind of further drooping on one side. It's day 14, it's time to check up on the seedlings again and to also see whether that pot rotation from a few days ago has made any difference to the bend that we saw in the seedlings. Now guys, if you are finding my videos helpful, then please do like and share my videos. That's the best way to support me, please. And be sure to check out some of my other videos on how to grow your own coriander. For example, I am also doing another video on how to grow your own spinach, so be sure to check that out. Alright, let's check up on the seedlings now. Wow guys, look at that. Now let me turn the pot around so you can get a bit of an idea from all angles. You can see that when we rotated our pot, okay, there are still some seedlings that are quite, there are still some seedlings that are bent, okay, but they're not as quite bent as what we saw from a few days back, okay. So rotating the pot has definitely helped, the plant correct its droopiness from a few days before. And as I said, it won't fully correct the bend, but at least it helps keep it upright as much as possible. So these seedlings will continue to develop into healthy little plants. Now all I've done between the time that we sowed these seeds and what you see now is I've literally just watered this pot and kept it moist. Okay, now I use rainwater, as you guys know. If you don't have access to rainwater, okay, just use normal distilled water that you would use for drinking as well. Try and avoid tap water that has a lot of chemicals in it, and that can, sometimes wreak havoc on your plants. This batch here, that was batch 1 that I sowed. That was a few weeks before I sowed this batch. And if I take you in closer, you will see that the more mature leaves start, they look quite different. You see these leaves here, okay, or even like this one here. Yeah, they are the more mature version of mustard greens. And obviously if you let your plant grow even more, it'll eventually develop seed pods, and from there you can also get your own homegrown mustard seeds. Honestly, how amazing is this? Well, I hope you found this useful. Until my next video, happy gardening!